जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीवान कृष्ण भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर महाराज की
जय।
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की
जय।
इस्कॉन फाउंडराचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की
जय।
नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की
जय।
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की
जय।
राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की
जय।
मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की
जय।
नवदीप मायापुर धाम की
जय।
उच्चतम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की
जय।
इस्कॉन फिलाडेल्फिया की
जय।
जय श्री श्री राधा शरद बिहारी की
जय।
जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की
जय।
परम करुणा श्री श्री गौर निताय की
जय।
भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की
जय।
हरिनाम संकीर्तन की
जय।
All glorious assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्ण।
All glorious assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्ण।
All glorious assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्ण।
All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Hari Hari.
हरे हरे।
Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. This morning, even though tomorrow is the one of the biggest festival of the year, being prepared. Rath Yatra, I know so many devotees must be very, very busy in preparing. Still, you all made some time to recite Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you for joining. So with your permission, we will begin with sloka. Today's we will be reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, The Creation, Chapter 13 and Text 16. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So we said that text 16. Yudhishthira labdharaja društva pautram kulandharam bhratrubhirlokapalarvai mumude parayasriya. Yudhishthira labdharaja društva pautram kulandharam Bhraturvirlokapalavir mumude parayasriya. Yudhishthira labdharaja društva pautram kulandharam Bhraturvirlokapalavir mumude parayasriya. Please recite.
हरे कृष्ण। युधिष्ठिरो लब्ध राज्यो दृष्ट्वा पौत्रं कुलंधरं भ्राते लोकपलाभैर मुमुदे परयाश्रिया। हरे कृष्ण।
Yudhishthira Uvacha. Sorry. Yudhishthiro Labdharajyo Drishtva Pautram Kurandharam Bhraturbhirlokapalabhir Mumude Parayashraya.
Hare Krishna. Yudhishthiro labdharajyo drashtva potram kulandaram bhratrubhilokapalabhe Mumude Paraya Shriya. Hare Krishna.
युधिष्ठिरो लब्धराज्यो दृष्ट्वा पौत्रं कुलन्धरं भ्रातृभिर्लोकपालाभैर्मुमुदे परया श्रिया.
Hare Krishna. Yudhishthiro labdha rajyo drishtva potram kulandharam patribhir lokapala bhair momude paryasriya.
Thank you. So we go for anyone else want to try? Okay. We'll do synonyms. Yudhishthiraha, Yudhishthira. Labdharajyaha, possessing his paternal kingdom. Drishtva, by seeing. Pautram, the grandson. Kulam dharmam, Kulam dharam, just suitable for the dynasty. Bhratrubhihi, by the brothers. Lokapalabhihi, who are all expert administrators. Mumude, enjoyed life. Paraya, uncommon. Sriya, opulence. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Having won his kingdom and observed the birth of one grandson, competent to continue the noble tradition of his family, Maharaj Yudhishthir reigned peacefully and enjoyed uncommon opulence in cooperation with his younger brothers, who were all expert administrators, the common people. Purport. Both Maharaj Yudhishthir and Arjuna were unhappy from the beginning of the battle of Kurukshetra. But even though they were unwilling to kill their own men in the fight, it had to be done as a matter of duty, for it was planned by the supreme will of Lord Sri Krishna. After the battle, Maharaj Yudhishthir was unhappy over such mass killings. Practically, there was none to continue the Kuru dynasty after them, the Pandavas. The only remaining hope was the child in the womb of his daughter-in-law, Uttara. And he was also attacked by Aswathama. But by the grace of the Lord, the child was saved. So, after the settlement of all disturbing conditions and re-establishment of the peaceful order of the state, and after seeing the surviving child Parikshit well satisfied, Maharaj Yudhishthira felt some relief as a human being, although he had very little attraction for material happiness, which is always illusory and temporary. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tashmai Sri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschyata Desatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Welcome everyone. Yudhishthira Labdha Rajya Drushta Potram Kulandharam Bhratur Bhiloka Palarve Mumude Parayasriya. So this chapter, we are continuing the 13th chapter, where it describes Vidra, the saint Vidra, who has returned from the pilgrimage. Upon his return from pilgrimage, the whole family members were so happy. It cannot be imagined. That kind of relationship, it used to be in the families. and Vidura being gone for pilgrimage, those days when you go for pilgrimage, there's no, I heard my mother used to tell actually, I heard there's no guarantee when you will come, if you will ever come or not. It used to be like that, it seems. And now we are talking about 5,000 years back. So when he is back, seeing after a long time, everyone was very joyful, as if like they regained their life after so many years of separation. When you love someone, you feel separation from them if you don't see them. So now you just now what do you call it? Vidur has come back, Yudhishthira Maharaj feels a little settled now, is happy to see him. However, this purport we can see, having won his kingdom and observed the birth of one grandson competent to continue the noble tradition of his life, Maharaj Yudhishthira reigned peacefully and enjoyed uncommon opulence. This is Maharaj Yudhishthira, who is an emperor. Generally, the thought process is when someone is an emperor who's full of opulence in this material world, everyone strives to acquire as much as possible. Generally, we don't know how much is enough to live happily. Right? It's a dilemma everywhere. Is $100,000 enough? Or $1 million enough? Everyone is secure. We all try to secure our life to make sure that we are safe and no issues, so we don't have to work hard. And our old days will also go very happily. Everyone makes their plan, and it's okay to make certain plans. But when we look into the nature of this world, from the eyes of Shastra, from the saintly persons, we can see, and we understand that the characteristics is Dukhalayam Asasvatam. Dukhalayam Asasvatam. And the whole property of this material world is Dukhalayam. And not only that, Padam Padam Yat Padam Tesa means every step there is a danger. And you all agree. Sometimes some devotees are referred to as saying that as if like what do you call landmines? When people put the bumps on the floor,
Yeah,
what do you call?
Yeah, landmine.
Landmines, right? Yeah, they put as if like every place there's a landmine. Anytime it can blast, you don't know. They have to be very, very careful. When the army people, they're very careful to protect themselves from the landmines. And anytime it can blast. So it is the fact, living in this material world, yat padam padam yat bipadam, in every place is like a landmine. Every place, you're cooking, there's a danger. While driving, there's a danger. While walking, there's a danger. Recently, one of the devotees who was serving the deities, she just happened to twist her knees, done. Bed resting. While eating, can be example like landmine, can be diarrhea, can be poisoning. There's so many issues. If you observe this. So by nature, this material world is tamas, in mode of ignorance. However, every living entity is anandamaya vihasat. By nature, living entity is supposed to be happy. And by nature, matter is in darkness or in full of danger. Such an awkward situation. Such an awkward situation. So in this material world, we, a living entity, has to look for happiness everywhere. What am I getting? Where can I get a little happiness? Every moment, all acts has some purpose behind it, is how I can derive some happiness. However, happiness is also in this material world is very, very conditional. Just give me 1 second, I'll close that door. So happiness in this material world is very, very conditional. Why conditional? This is very relevant to today's topic also. In order to be conditional, in order to be happy, you have to make sure everything in your life happening is all right. Everything. If you don't have the money, you have to have the money. And once you have the money, you have to have the good food. And if you have the good food, you have to be healthy to eat, or your teeth should be functioning well. And if you have the food, you need the company. Oh, I'm alone. I don't have anybody, any friends, any relatives. Once you have the friends, you want a peaceful friends because you don't want them fight with you. And once you have the peaceful, then you find that one by one friends will leave from this world. It's arrangement. Nothing in this world is permanent. Everything is temporary. So just I gave a scenario that in order to have a little happiness in this world, you have to have all these conditions to be fulfilled to find this little happiness. Thus, the happiness in this material world is compared to is like a drop, not even a drop. The real happiness is not experienced in this material world. The happiness we experience is a perverted form. Perverted form. There's no true happiness. So everything has to be all right, perfectly situated in order to be happy. Now, when you look into King Chitraketu's life, Srimad Bhagavatam explains King Chitraketu, who was a very powerful king, and of course he must be an emperor. He said 1 million wives. I don't know how that could be possible, but that is. For me, it may not be possible. For me, it may be difficult to have one. He's a king, an emperor, and other ages that would be possible because he could maintain 1 million wives. He had opulence everywhere, very beautiful wives, his handsome body, strong, stout. Everybody's following his order. And there's no, apparently, there's no danger. Nice food, he had all kind of food, all the luxuries of the world, he could think of it. Guess what? He was not happy. Right? You all know this King Chitraketu's situation. He was not happy. Oh, why not happy? Because, I have just one thing is missing. Just one thing is missing. And that one thing is he had everything. He did not have one child. Not even one child. Not even have one child, actually. And externally, other may be thinking, what is wrong with you? You have everything. What is wrong with you? Just have fun and be happy. But if you look into his heart, he was modest all the time. He was modest all the time. And we can see in this world also there's so many examples, and so many examples. There are so many people who have struggled very hard accumulating wealth and everything, but they don't have any, either they may not have any children, or even if they had, somebody lost it, and no friends, no relatives, people live alone at their houses. Nucleus family, and even that family nucleus is becoming atom family. Nobody, just one person loitering in the house. We always miss to meet somebody, hanker for to meet somebody. We can see that. And many times the youth also, at this time we see, they don't want to get married first of all, they don't want to get married. And even if they get married Okay, once everything they're happy and they feel, okay, they get married. And many times the happening issue that they don't have a children also. I had some upset situations with my friends. They waited and they didn't have a child. So the whole life has become miserable for not able to having a child. However, in the Vedic system, you may have many child, but you needed a son because the son will help. Putra. The son, words in Sanskrit, son means putra. Putra means the one who will free the parents and ancestors from going to the hellish planet called Putra. Trayate iti, Putra. So the one delivers, like mantra, similarly Putra. It's a son. So why there's a need of son? We can see even Arjuna in conversation with Krishna also at the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. He's saying, oh, Arjuna is saying, Krishna, I don't want to fight. If I fight, all these people will be they will die. If they die, there won't be anyone, the children will not be proper. They won't know the samskaras. They won't know the samskar. They won't know the traditions. They won't know the responsibilities, or they may not have even child also. If they don't have a children, how they will offer water or oblations to their forefathers. It's not only immediate danger, and there's also danger for the people who have departed souls. So Arjuna told Krishna that it's important to have a right child. The ancestors of such families fall down because of the performance. For offering them food and water are entirely stopped. So, and one unfortunate, as I said, is the current generation is bereft of this knowledge that the need of progeny, right progeny, not like producing children like cats and dogs, as Prabhupada says, without a knowledge of one's responsibility. Because according to Shastra, we are in Rina. Rina means debts. We have so many debts. Of course, we made credit card debts and home loan debts, and this debt, car loans. Those are the debts. That's not the only one. If you don't pay those debts, they will immediately come and take it. But not only those debts, there are many other debts. After we take birth, there are many other debts. It says that marrying and begetting a child is considered to liquidate one's debts to the family in which one is born. So if you're born, then again marrying and also begetting a child is a debt. There are many debts which are imposed upon a child just after his birth. The happy birthday does not come with free. It comes with a lot of debts. There are debts to the family in which one is born, debts to the demigods, debts to the pitas, debts to the rishis, etc. But so all these debts are there. One has to, unfortunately, one does not know. These debts are supposed to be explained, educated when we are born by parents, and the saintly persons should have been explaining. And these are the obligations. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned, a member of the twice-born classes is born with three kinds of debts. Those owed to the demigods, to the sages, and to his forefathers. So now it's the members of twice-born, we can assume it's Brahmana. But that twice-born also can be a Dvija. The twice-born is those who take initiation. It can be applied to Kshatriya also. It can be applied to Vaishya as well. They also take initiation into their tradition. So the members of the twice-born classes is born with three kinds of debts. If he leaves his body without first liquidating these debts by performing sacrifice, studying the scriptures, and begetting children, he will fall down into a hellish condition. That's the Shastric injunction. We are born, it's not everything just did not come free. The family took so much of efforts to give us birth, human body. We are indebted. The demigods are maintaining us by providing all these necessities of life. We're indebted. One of the scenario, if you know, when Prajapati Daksha was following his father's order to beget children everywhere. And he was begetting children there's a need to fill this universe in different planets. He was begetting, and Narad Muni came and he preached his children. He said, hey, come on, the purpose of life is, to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If you entangle into this material life, you may be in trouble. So by preaching them, he made everyone, all his children, to follow, accept the renounced order. And second time also did the same thing, Narad Muni. So Daksha freaked out. He said that, my sons were not at all freed from their debts. Daksha is speaking to Narada. My sons are not free from their debts. They have all these debts. Indeed, they did not properly consider their obligations. O Narad Muni, O personality of sinful action. So he addressed Narad Muni as a very anger, that you're a sinful person. How different persons? One is in a transcendental situated, the other one is materially situated. And O Narad Muni, O personality of sinful actions, you have obstructed their progress towards good fortune in this world and the next, because they are still indebted to the saintly persons, the demigods, and their fathers, their father. So Daksha was very mad, saying, you've been cause of their progressive development, their enjoyment, their fortune. That is Daksha's point of view. Of course, Narad Muni was very transcendental situated. Why I was referring to this, that how important people living in this material world to fulfill their debts, even if you're not a devotee. Even if one is not a devotee, one has to follow the scriptures. So now, as soon as a Brahmana is taking birth, he understands that he has all these debts. Undergoing the celibacy, to clear his debts, debts to the saintly persons. He must perform the ritualistic ceremonies and to the demigods, and he must beget children to become free from the debts to his fathers. That's a Brahmana's responsibility also. Comes with it. It's not like free will, you can do anything and everything. However, why Narad Muni was right, what he did, is because Narad Muni was following the path of transcendence. There are certain regulations for people in this world and there are certain regulations for transcendentalists. That's not same rules apply to everybody. We hear from the pastimes of Bharat Maharaj also, right? Bharat Maharaj renounced all the houses, his family life, renounced his obligations as a king, everything. He accepted the renounced order of life. And after taking a renounced order of life, again he spent his time for taking care of the deer. That is not necessary. Yeah, of course, we have to be compassionate, but for Bharat Maharaj, there is no need because he already accepted the renounced order of life. He understands that everything is maintained, will be maintained by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he's free from that responsibilities, but he did it. That's why he was in trouble. So same way, in those who have accepted the path of renounced order, for them, they were automatically freed from all these three kinds of debts or many kinds of debts. Devarsi bhutapta nranam pitranam na kinkaro nayam Rini Rajan, Sarvatmana Yaha Saranam Saranyam Gata Mukundam Parihritya Kartam. So, those who have accepted the lotus feet of Krishna, those who have accepted the path of pure devotional service, they will be free from all these debts. Others, there is no chance the human being can fulfill all these debts. Kardamuni's pastime also we see in Devahoti Kardamuni. He also fulfilled the obligation, but he was ordered to have many children, but he begot only one child, which is a great child, Lord Kapiladev. Begot one child. So we can, why I was giving all this example to relevant to this today's session is that today's session, it talks about, let me share the screen. So, having won his kingdom and observed the birth of one grandson, competent to continue the noble tradition of his family, Maharaj Yudhishthir reigned peacefully and enjoyed uncommon opulence in cooperation with his younger brothers, who were all expert administrators to the common people. For Yudhishthir Maharaj to come up to this level of peacefulness, satisfaction, it was a long journey for him. It was very, very long journey for him. And we know that he's an emperor, and he's born in the royal family, nice brothers, family, everything was there. But whole life was a challenge for him. Whole life was a challenge. Even though he had taken shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So happiness in this material world is not very easy. Because even though he had everything, still Yudhishthira Maharaj is not happy. He was unhappy because he lost his father in the childhood. He was unhappy because what happened? He was attempted murder by his cousins for so many times, and he was unhappy that he lost everything in gambling. In gambling, he was unhappy that he did not wanted to do the war, but he had to fight with his own family members and relatives. He was unhappy because of him that so many relatives and friends and his own family died. If everyone dies, then who will take care of the dynasty? Who will take care of the responsibility of protecting the citizens? There has to be a person. No, his 5 children born of Draupadi, they also died. They were killed. So there's only one left in the home, which is Parikshit Maharaj in the home. And that was being killed by Ashwatthama. That is also being killed by Ashwatthama. So in this situation, if you see, so he became emperor later. He was finding little relief after so long of losses and situations, because he was feeling relief that thank God, I have one child now, he's protected. That is his life, because he knows he has so much of responsibility in him. But everybody has their own way of seeing things differently. We see the grass is green on the other side. Everyone has to go through these calamities of this material world. No one is free. Birth, death, old age, and disease, and threefold miseries of life is inevitable. And when we get little relief, from all these troubles, we say, now I'm happy. So that's the happiness in this material world. On the other hand, Krishna says that the path of bhakti, which can be performed with joyfully, anandam buddhivardhanam. Anandam, the process is anandam buddhivardhanam. You chant, the more you chant, the more you go on devotional service, you will be situated in the ananda platform of ananda, transcendental happiness, joy. So that's why it is said, Chakshudana dilaje janme janme prabhu se divya gyan hriday prakasita. And the one who has given us, the one who is giving us, still helping us in progressing in our spiritual progress, they are my Lord, birth after birth. So grateful, isn't it? We should I'm very grateful that I came. Not able to, many times we fail to compare where we are, what we have come. This material world is not a place for gentlemen, as Prabhupada says. So this Rath Yatra will bring, may this Rath Yatra bring all auspiciousness to our communities and people. May thousands of people get mercy of Lord Jagannath. We all become an instrument to spread his glories. Let the way it changed our life, let others' life also change by coming in association of devotees and having darshan of Lord Jagannath and serving and having prasadam of Lord Jagannath, hearing the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna. Any corrections, comments? I'm sorry if I make in different way. Because the whole purpose of this sloka is how Sutta Goswami is narrating is that, explaining everything, he's saying that Yudhishthira Maharaj felt a little relief for some time. And that also, Yudhishthira Maharaj is feeling relief for one reason. Anyone guess now what is the reason he is feeling relief? He is not feeling molest. There's one reason also there.
A human being, he is relieved.
No, Vidura, it's because of Vidura's mercy he's feeling relieved.
Yeah, Vidya's mercy, yes, of course.
Because Vidura did not reveal that Lord Krishna has already left this planet. He said, okay, let this situation come to him according to his own course. I don't want to relive. If Vidura would have revealed that Lord Krishna and Yadus has left, you give the whole world, you would not have been happy. Yes, Ramsyam Prabhu, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prabhuji, for wonderful session. Like you made the very good and very well, you explained about like happiness, how and what way one can be happy. So like Yudhishthira Maharaj, after this, battle and everything, he was very distressed. And when he, Vidura came back and he found relief and he was feeling that happiness and those all things. So you made so many, practical examples, giving that Chitraketu Maharaj and all, by getting this way, that way one can be happy, but no, those are the temporary happiness, as you told, and the happiness, eternal happiness only will come by serving the Lord. So Jagannath is coming, as you pointed. So only by serving the Jagannath we can get the real happiness, that is the eternal happiness.
Yeah. Thank you. And that temporary happiness also to attain is not very easy.
Yeah.
It is achieved with so much of hard struggle. It says, parishram, hard labor has to be done, to attain bread and butter. One of our congregation member, and the youth, is very nice and working and studied well, working also. Then I asked him, okay, what did you have in your breakfast? He said, bagel. I said, how much it costs? And if you buy the bagel, it is cost like at the most $1 or something. It's $1. For $1 bagel, we are working so hard. We are working very hard. So, in order to be happy in this world, also one has to work very hard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Anyone has more comments or corrections?
Corrections, Prabhu? Absolutely not. Thank you very much. I think you connected the verse to the topic very, very nicely about debt. We are all debted. We have to remember that. And again, every class that I hear, I am just so grateful to Prabhupada for making us understand this. He did not invent it. He did not come up with a new philosophy, but what was there has been explained. And only because we read this Bhagavatam and we have this association, we have this temple, I'm just so, every day, I'm just so grateful that I've been able to come to this. What I did to deserve this, I don't know, but I have come to it and I'm just so grateful. Just yesterday, actually, one of our relatives, generally he tends to be a jnani, he reads a lot, he Mayavadi, but out of the blue yesterday, he called and he said, I'm just, so happy for you that you have found this. I mean, at this, he's much older than I am. He said, I'm so happy for you that even when you're so young, you have found this path and you've taken it seriously. And I thought there are so many people who are way younger than me who are so much more advanced. But he said, I want to, find out from your temple if I'm able to come and stay for a week. I want to, I'm not, he's, again, like I told you, he does believe in Advaita. He's probably struggling with it now, wants to investigate this, but all because of Prabhupada. And that you were talking about, we can try to repay that debt tomorrow a little bit by doing what Prabhupada wants us to do. We are, of course, debted to him too. We have all these other debts that we are trying to repay. We are incredibly indebted to Srila Prabhupada. And how do we repay him back? We repay him back by doing the service he wants us to do for ISKCON, for the temple. So, like Dronacharya Prabhu would say, here is my 2-minute commercial for Rath Yatra tomorrow. Please, if you are able to, give a few hours today and definitely come tomorrow in great numbers. Invite everybody and see you all there.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, very nice class. And you mentioned the topic of ancestors also. We are indebted to our ancestors. And right now it's a good topic because Shraddha is going on. We talked about ancestors. But I do Shraddha every year, but I'm beginning to think that we are souls and we get a different body. So why do we do Shraddha for ancestors? And they appear sometimes in dream also, but they take the different body. So why do we do the something like offer them something for them every year? There's a 16th Shraddha. So why do we? That's a question. Sometimes I think.
Nice. Yeah, very nice. Thank you, Mataji, Suman Mataji, for asking this question. Why we do? Because it is right that we get this body, but they have become an instrument to give this human body to us. We get different bodies, but we are doing this because they gave us human body. Using this human body, which is going to, because of them, we got this body. Through them, it is going to help us to cross over the material ocean of material world. So, even though we are spirit soul, but because this body comes from them, that's why we are using this body to repay. The best way to repay is, as you say, you can give the Shraddha, you can do the Shraddha so that they can get the Mahaprasad of Lord Vishnu. You can chant the holy name for them, or you become the full-time, 100% devotee, not like a little bit pure devotee. If you become pure devotee of the Lord, 21 generations in the above and below, they all become devotees and they'll be liberated. So the reason is, that's the reason is actually because through them we got this body. We should be very grateful. how is that's the details, that's a very different thing. But at the end of the day, as I, as a spirit soul, got this body, which is in a particular shape, which is very conducive to cross over this metal ocean of metal world. So that's why we are indebted to them also, who gave us the ability to speak, chant. In this human body, we are able to chant the Lord's holy name. We can render so many services. Yeah, it's not good that they live in the Pitraloka. It's not good for them. Some of the souls, maybe devotees, they have gone to spiritual world, but those who did not go, they may be there. And by your devotion, they'll be benefited.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure. Yeah, many times we don't realize, we are indebted. Yeah, how I am in this situation, how did I come into this situation? How many people has their contributions to make me to this? Teachers have contributed, friends have contributed, relatives have contributed, whole village has contributed, parents have contributed, and ancestors also contributed, because we are coming in that dynasty, in their family. So through them, we got this important body. This body is very, very rare. This body is very, very rare, and the bhakti is also very, very rare. So both two things we got very rare. And when combining together, using this body in the bhakti, we are making the complete, fulfilling the proper utilization of this body. And everyone gets benefited, including you. Okay. So it's
Thank you very much.
sure. Anyone else? Or should we stop?
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
So, any announcement? Okay. So we'll see all of you tomorrow in the morning and get ready. Hare Krishna. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhobhyasya
Pavanebhyo,
Vaishnavesh.
Vaishnavesh,